Hi everyone, I'm Ghost Masala and welcome back to another video. I've done quite a lot of uploads this week, I know, but it's time for a very big one. And unfortunately, England didn't win against Belgium. Even a draw would have made it so that we played Japan, and that would have been a much easier game. But we have Colombia, and today I'm going to look into a sort of head-to-head between each of the players in order to see, in my opinion, who will win between England and Colombia. So it's an in-depth look into all of the players and who they will play against in the opposite team. So yeah, for example, so I'm not exactly comparing forwards to forwards, I'm comparing forwards to defenders to sort of reflect what it will be like in the actual match. The exception to this is the goalkeepers. They'd be hard to compare with attackers, so I'm comparing them with each other. I think that's fair because lots of players will have shots against the goalkeepers. And yeah, so if you want to know more about Colombia, this guide is going to be sort of more looking at how the players will match up against England players. But if you want to see a more in-depth guide to Colombia, I'll put a card at the top of your screen right now, and it's slightly out of date, so a couple of players will not be starting in that guide, and also I believe one or two of the players actually didn't get picked in the World Cup squad, just so you know. So it is a bit out of date, but most of the players are actually in the squad, and that just goes into a bit more detail. But yes, I'm going up against which players are playing, will face up against which players, and then of course I'll look into a sort of overall winner at the end. So first up in the goalkeepers section, we have David Ospina of Arsenal versus Jordan Pickford of Everton, and both of these goalkeepers are quite similar in the fact that they're both a bit not that good. They make a bit of mistakes, if that makes sense. For example, they've both made a couple of pretty bad mistakes in this World Cup leading to goals. Pickford should have saved Januzaj's shot in the game against Belgium, and Ospina made a massive mistake for the winning goal that Japan got against Colombia, in the fact that he didn't come for the set piece. However, I do believe Pickford is stronger, because Pickford, although he does struggle he does parry the ball out a lot, which could be a problem, and he sometimes doesn't get to the ball as much as others do. The mistakes are not as crucial to England as the mistakes Ospina makes, because Ospina is shaky on set pieces, and as we know, England are very good at set pieces, so that's going to be a big problem for Ospina in goal. And also, Pickford's had more game time this season. That's why I'm going to go for Pickford in goal as the winner in this category. And next up we have the left back Young versus the right back Arias, and I'll explain how this is working once I get to the more wide players, but I'm going to put the fullback up against each other due to the way England line up. And we have Ashley Young versus Arias. Ashley Young has been alright in the matches that he's played so far, the first two matches, and similar story to Arias really. He didn't have a good game against Japan, but he pulled it back against Senegal and played well. Arias is strong and fast, but Young is as well, and Arias seems to lack somewhat going forward, although he does find links with Cuadrado pretty well, and same with Young really. He struggles to make chances. However, I do believe that Arias is stronger, is stronger defensively, so I'm going to go for Arias on this occasion. And if Arias has a good game, he will be a lot better than Young anyway. He just needs to actually dig down and find his true right back potential. So I'm going to go for Arias in this case. And now we have the central defenders against the attackers, and I believe Yerry Mina will face off against Raheem Sterling. I don't think Southgate is going to change Sterling out of the team, to be honest. I'd be very surprised if he did. But Yerry Mina has played very well recently, and this is a no-brainer really as to who's going to win this one. Mina is a great defender, I rate him so much, and Sterling is somewhat ineffective, so of course Mina's going to win this one. Seriously, Mina is good. However, it's a different story with the other centre-back versus forward pairing. We have Davinson Sanchez versus Harry Kane, and Sanchez is very good against pacey players. He comes back and closes them down well. He's so fast, but he makes mistakes, and players who are more strong and force him through using their strength and shooting power and hold-up play better against him. We saw that with Osako. The penalty, Osako just completely got him, and I believe Kane can do that too. He's a similar sort of player to Osako. However, Sanchez did close down Lewandowski. However, I think Kane will have the advantage over Davinson Sanchez in this case. Next up we have Mojica, not sure what club he plays for, versus Kieran Trippier, who is said to be one of the best right backs at the tournament. But Mojica has had some great games too. Against Japan he was very impressive down that left side, but Trippier, I'm afraid, has been the best right back at the tournament, and he's going to close down Mojica defensively and stretch him in attacking situations as well. So this one is a clear win for Kieran Trippier. And next up we have, somewhat unknown to me, I didn't really know who he was, Matheus Uribe. I'm not sure if he'll play, versus Loftus-Cheek. And the fact that I wasn't sure who Matheus Uribe was made sense. Makes this an easy decision for me. He was pretty ineffective against Senegal, and of course he didn't start in the other... or he might have started, but again, the fact that I didn't know who he was means he's not too strong in defence, and for me Loftus-Cheek has looked very impressive just all round. However, so I'm going to give this one to Loftus-Cheek. However, if Wilmar Barrios plays, then Loftus-Cheek will lose. Barrios is serious good. Yeah, he looks good playing ball forward. He's solid in defence. He's just a warrior for 90 minutes. I don't know if he's injured or something. I have no idea why he didn't play against Senegal. But if Barrios plays, he will know how to deal with Loftus-Cheek, almost certainly. And next up we have another defensive midfielder versus an attacking midfielder in the form of Carlos Sanchez versus Jesse Lingard. And Carlos Sanchez is old. Like, he's 33, he's getting old, and his decision making is a bit out there. And Lingard is in good form. Although he may have been rested in the last game, I'm going to go for Lingard on this one, just because he's a lot better than Carlos Sanchez. The defensive midfield is not a good point for Colombia, just in general, and but Carlos Sanchez could come back and play well, and I believe that it will either be Sanchez and Uribe, or Sanchez and Barrios. But yeah, I will be going for Lingard in this case. And next up we have, on the left side, we have James Rodriguez, absolute legend, versus Kyle Walker. Now, if James is 100% fit and he plays, Walker will have no chance. Walker cannot close down a player of James' quality. If we're playing like Cahill or maybe a different centre back over there in the place where Walker could possibly close him down, if we move Stones over to that side, maybe Stones would have a chance of closing him down. But Walker will be dealing with James in this game. If James plays, and if James does play, then Walker will get absolutely done. He will not be able to deal with James. However, an unfit James is probably the best outcome for England, because then he will just be ineffective, as we saw in the game against Senegal and in the game against Japan. He wasn't effective at all in either of those games. But if he is fit, then that's not good. However, if they decide not to play James, then that's not too good either, because Muriel will play, and Muriel, I believe, also has a bit of extra quality that Walker does not. So I am going to give this one to Colombia. I believe that James or Muriel will take on Walker in defence and will win. And next up we have Juan Cuadrado versus Harry Maguire, and unfortunately for Maguire, I do not see him being able to stop Cuadrado for most of the match if Cuadrado is on form, as he has been for quite a bit of this tournament. So yeah, I'm just going to give this to Cuadrado straight away, because Maguire, he's good at carrying the ball forward, but I believe Cuadrado, he's not that fast, and Cuadrado can just drive at you, and I don't think Maguire will be able to deal with him. If we play Cahill instead, then I believe Cahill would be stronger than Maguire in that situation. He knows how to deal with Cuadrado, and although Cuadrado has been effective in the Premier League, it really depends on whether he has a good game actually, but I am going to still give this point to Cuadrado. And next up we have the guy who's been playing so well, or he played so well in the first match anyway, Quintero versus Henderson. And from what I've seen of Quintero, apart from the free kick, he's been good. He's been good as well as the free kick, I should say. This is a very tough one to call. But Henderson's been so solid as well, and Henderson also offers something going forward too. But for me, I've got to give it to... Oh no, I've got to make a quick decision here. I'm going to say this one will be a draw. I believe that Quintero and Henderson, they'll both beat each other at separate parts of the game, and this one will be a draw. And this is going to make it so hard for me now. Falcao versus Stones. Depends what sort of game Falcao has. If he has James backing him up and others, then he will easily beat Stones. And if Stones has a good game, then he'll beat Falcao. And in this case, I am going to go for I'm going to go for Falcao, unfortunately, which is not good for England, because if we add it up, it is 5-5 at the moment, with 5 of the Colombia's players being better than their English counterparts, and 5 of England's players being better than their Colombia counterparts. However, unfortunately for England fans, if Barrios plays, then I believe Colombia will win. He just brings so much more in midfield than others. However, if James does not play, then I think England will win. Muriel is good, but I believe that James just adds something more that England will not be able to stop. Although Stones can't stop Falcao, he can stop the play going into Falcao, and therefore that would involve Muriel. So for me, if Barrios plays, then Colombia win. If James doesn't play or is injured, then England win. And that's my final verdict. And for my prediction, I'm going to go 1-1, 2-1 in extra time to England. Just because I'm in England, I know I'm biased, I'm an England supporter, but I have to say that England win, otherwise I would not be, that would not be very good. So yeah, hopefully England win. I'm not sure that they will, but yeah, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and yeah, so I guess I'll see you next time. Make sure to leave suggestions for videos that I should do. I'm running out of video ideas in the first week of the amount of time that I'm going to be uploading videos most days, so please leave ideas in the comments. And yeah, I've seen some growth in the channel recently, so that's great. And yeah, so feel free to subscribe for more stuff like this, and yeah, I'll see you next time.